welcome to my channel. I'm Shalise, and I am keeping it cute. If you like what I'm talking about, make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button. Today I'm going to be talking about exiting a relationship. If you are married, it's different from if you're not married when you're exiting. Now, if you're not married, you can pretty much just say, hey, I'm done with this. I don't want to deal with this anymore. And you just ask God for guidance on how to, move. I am a woman of faith. I believe in God. And so that's my advice is going to be, pray or, seek God, or how to seek God. So those are going to be some of my recommendations. So, yeah. But if you are not married, you can pretty much just say, hey, I'm done with this. I am, deuces. And you just get guidance, how to leave. Now, when you're married, you made a vow before God. So you have to ask him to release you. You have to get released from the marriage. And that is a whole different, it's totally different. So, I have people that call me, ladies that call me that, are going through, things in their marriage. And, what I tell them is, no matter what you're going through, you have to remain a wife in the marriage. Because a lot of times when you're going through negative things in the marriage, it makes you want to be negative, where you would just say, hey, I'm done. I don't have to cook for you, clean for you, nothing for you. But no, when you made that vow before God, you said you would be in this marriage until death do you part. So you have to remain a wife until God releases you. Now, I know it sounds easier said than it's not easy. So you have to remain a woman. I just think it's just being a woman, just carrying yourself as an elegant woman. You are not allowing the situation to overwhelm you and take control of you and have you acting out in a negative way. You're not yelling, screaming about everything, and let's just say, because it's so many different scenarios of why a man would leave or why you would leave, because sometimes it's not always the man that's doing it. Sometimes it's the woman just out here doing it. But they could be cheating, they could be on drugs, they could be not handling finances, just whatever, mentally abusive. And if you are in a physical abusive relationship, I think that you should move fast. I think that you should ask God to lead you out fast, quickly, expeditiously. You need to be moved. So, because that one hit could take you out. So, yeah, and if you need help, you should call on your friends, call on your parents. I would even help. Just, you can hit me in Lynn Hair 1 on Instagram. But I just think that if you're in an abusive relationship, get out of that. Move. There's no reason to stay in that. You're only there because your self-esteem is low. You have to get out of that, because that if he hits you one way, or she hits you one way, you could be out of here. No more you. So that's a whole different, topic. But I'm going to jump back onto the topic. But if you're married and, you decide that you can no longer deal with the marriage, then you need to pray and ask God for his approval to release you. And then he may not release you, because sometimes your marriage can be a testimony for someone else. So if your marriage is a testimony for someone else, then, you've helped someone. Now, I had a girlfriend that, had a relationship where, she felt like they were just done. They fought, they argued, they just went through everything that was negative. And she was pretty much like, it's over. But God came through and he turned that thing around, and now they've been married for almost 36 years, and you would never know that they went through any of the negativity that they went through, because at this point they are like best friends, and they, do everything together as a couple. So, and they had kids and everything, but they went through that period of just negativity, and sometimes that happens. So you just don't know what God would do in your marriage. So you have to pray for the guidance on, if he will release you or not. So my prayer was, if it release me, if it be your will. But I was really mainly like, release me. Now, the initial, because I'm gonna start from the beginning. You get that gut feeling like, okay, what's going on? Because you've been with this person, and you kind of, their actions change and the behavior changes, and it kind of makes you like, okay, something's not right. So, when you get that gut feeling, you're approaching them like, okay, something's not right. What's going on? And they're not telling you the truth. Then you need to pray and ask God. God will reveal to me what's going on. I did it, and it revealed to me what was going on. So then at that point, I'm like, okay, once everything was, on the table, and I'm seeing what's going on, then I have to see, can I deal with that? When I look at Tiny, she was able, she let him go, but then she took him right back. So she's able to deal with that. Whereas me, no, I'm not gonna be able to deal with that. Yeah, because I feel like that's an area that I don't have a problem in. I'm loyal, so I don't have that problem. And so if you have that problem, I can't deal with that. Now I may have problems other places, but that's not my problem, and I don't want to deal with that if I don't have to. So when God released me, I was happy, so you have to pray to be released. But the first thing, go back. If you're just starting from the, because you get that gut feeling, and sometimes they lie to you and they tell you this, and that, you have to just ask God to reveal it. And then but when he reveals it, you cannot, because a lot of times we try to ignore it, or act like we don't see it. No, you need to, when you ask him for it and he shows you, you need to acknowledge it and then move forward from there. Because at that point, now see, the reason why I chose to exit is because my thing is, if you done something and it's a mistake, and you say, hey, I made that mistake, I'm sorry, I can't do this, I won't do it again, da 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 da. But if you get caught and you deny it, and you're lying, and because that's one of my pet peeves. I can't stand for people to lie to me, and they don't have to, because I feel like I'm probably one of the coolest. I'm just cool. I feel like I'm cool, and if you tell me the truth, I could deal with that. But if you're lying, I can't deal with that. So that's why I needed to exit, because the truth wasn't being told. So you may be the same way. Like, okay, I can deal with this if you tell me the truth. I did this and I'm sorry. That makes it easier. But if you say, no, I ain't do that, no, I'm not going to be able to deal with that. So, yeah. So you pray and ask for revelation. Once you get that revelation, and then you make the decision on, hey, I can't deal with this, then you have to pray and ask God to release you. And if he releases you, then you have to still keep asking God to guide you. Don't stop there, because if you stop there, then it's still that chaos that can happen. Because for me, when I got that release, it was like, yeah, okay, I'm good, but I didn't seek him in different areas, and things got chaotic, because divorce is negative. It's just negative, period. And it's going to be hard, and there's just going to be those hard days. And I mean, when you go through a divorce, it is the death of your, because we say to death do us part. Well, when you go through a divorce, it's the death of the relationship. The relationship is gone. And then one of my girlfriends, she broke it down really, really good. She said that, you know, when you do go through a divorce, it is the death of the relationship, and you bury the relationship because you no longer are going to be seeing this person every day. You're not going to be with them anymore. It's over. It's like you no longer, that person that you thought you was going to spend the rest of your life with, you're no longer dealing with them. So it's like a death. And in the beginning, when you do go through that, the divorce, when you make that initial decision that I can't deal with this anymore, you have all of the emotions of a death. You know, you're angry, you're sad, you're depressed, you're angry again, you know, you're hurt, you're all those things that you know, would go with what's going on in your, you know, in your marriage that caused you to say, I gotta leave. All those feelings come to surface because of, and then you start to reminisce on everything negative that happened in the relationship. And a lot of times, the reason why it's so hard to stay in a relationship is because of the unforgiveness that is in the relationship, because a lot of times we hold on to unforgiveness of things that they did at the beginning of the relationship. We're so mad at them still from that stuff lingers on into, and then you married 15 years later, you're still angry about something that happened maybe in the first year of the relationship. You're still angry of that. So those things are what causes you to be at this point. And we're human, and we can only deal with what we can deal with. So I just say that if you do decide, if you say, because some people say, I'm gonna stay, like Tiny, she said, I'm staying. So if you do decide to stay, you need to make sure that you actually forgive, because you don't want to keep that negativity going in the relationship. You want to make sure you forgive and that you forgive yourself, and that you guys discuss it, and that you're dead in it, and then that you don't keep bringing it up every time there's one situation. You still bringing up stuff from 19 years ago. You want to make sure that when you say, hey, I forgive you, I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna make this work, that you really want to make this work. You're not just staying in it because you're scared to get out here and, you know, be alone or be with someone else. You want to make sure that that you're sincere about being back with them, and that you're sincere about, you know, giving it that chance. You don't want to be in it because you're scared, because all you're going to do at that point is cause more heartache in your relationship, to where it's going to end negatively, because you keep bringing up the past, or you keep, you know, bringing it up every time he go to the door. You mad, you know? No, when you say, I am going to let that go and I want to be with you, then you have to let it go, and you have to be a woman about it. You know, you have to watch your reaction. And see, that's the whole thing. A lot of times when we're in the relationships, we watch our partners. We watch the person that we're with so much harder than we watch ourselves. So we don't even acknowledge what we're doing, because we don't know we're doing it, because we're not looking at ourselves. We're always looking at them and what they're doing. So you have to make sure that you are looking at you and how you're reacting, and how you are with your partner as well. So, you know, if you decide to stay, just make sure that forgiveness is there. Make sure that you guys communicate, that you know, deaden it. All the things that was causing you to be ready to leave, make sure that you deaden it, so that when you're back together, that it's a smooth ride, or else you're going to just be back at this point again. And you don't want to keep doing that, because it's negative and it hurts. So, but if you are released, then you need to make sure that you keep getting the guidance from God on what to do next. I made the mistake of just moving. I just, you know, once I got that release, honey, I was just moving, and things got chaotic, to the point where I hadn't even filed my divorce, and I've been separated for a year. So now, it's just, you get sidetracked when you, because it'll get chaotic if you don't get God's guidance. And so the reason that I wanted to do this, this taping, is because I wanted to make sure that I gave these points of guidance, is to make sure that you ask, for the revelation of what's going on, even if it's right there. God, show me why is this happening, and what do I need to do? Once you get that revelation and what you need to do, then you make that decision on, okay, God, I can't take this, or how you want me to do, what next, and it's all because God, He hears you when you talk to Him. All you have to do is believe that He hears you, and He does. He hears you. And so once you do that, and you say, hey, I can't deal with this anymore, God, show me what to do, then He's going to show you what to do. And you just make those steps. With me being released, I was like, yes, but I got really excited. That's why it says in the Bible to be anxious for nothing, because I got anxious, was like, yes, I'm out of here. You done did me wrong. And I had that, because what was so hard for me was being the wife throughout the whole ordeal. I had to remain a woman. I had to still conduct myself elegantly, and I could not, because a lot of times we want to go off on the deep end and just be, go off. But going off is not going to, and you see that little jump, like, what? No, listen. But going off is not going to change the situation. It's going to just make you look worse. He's going to be looking at, especially if he's cheating, he's going to be like, she look better because, she ain't yelling, she ain't screaming, she ain't going off, But if you over there always, and then you're pushing him even more to her. So you have to know how to act. You have to be a wife regardless of the situation. And a lot of times when we're going through the situation, we don't want to be a wife anymore. We don't want to cook, we don't want to clean, we don't do nothing with them, period. And that is just not acceptable, especially if you're a woman of faith. You have to still conduct yourself as a wife, because you are still a wife. That's just like when you have a job and you go and you apply for another job and you get that job. You can't leave this job without, you got to finish working. You got to finish up your week or two, whatever it is, because you're going to give them that 2-week notice. Just because you gave them that 2-week notice don't mean you don't work. You still have to work and complete your daily duties. That's the same thing as when you're married. You still have to do your daily duties of being a wife until you are out of there. So that was very hard, especially when there was a lot of lying and just betrayal, and you still have to be that wife. That is hard. So I had to, and just to give you a few things on how to get through that. I stayed in church because I was like, look, I don't want to kill nobody, I don't want to kill me, because that's hard. So I stayed in church. I was probably there 24/7, but I was in church a lot. But I already was busy with, because I'm a hairstylist, so I was already busy in the salon, so I stayed busy, but I had to always, keep myself positive and look positive, because I don't ever want no one to see me sweat. I don't want to be, woe is me to, so I always kept myself, just positive, and I conducted myself as a woman. And even in the negative situations, I conducted myself as a woman, where, the younger me probably would have went off. But my thing is this: if you go off, what does that help? Because if he has chosen to be with someone else, you going off is not doing anything but making you look more. Because to me, if they go out here and cheat, then you already making me look crazy. So if I act a fool, then I'm looking crazier. I'm not going to do it. Period. I can't hold myself responsible for your reactions. If you felt like I did something and you feel like, okay, well, she did that, I'm gonna go do this. That's on you, as long as I don't do it. And I don't think that two wrongs make a right. So you can't say, okay, well, he cheated, so I'm going over here and get time. That doesn't, no. I'm not gonna do that. And so I am, doing this tape to say, look, get your guidance from God. He's going to help you. Pray for the revelation of it. Then pray for the release. If he gives you the release, then keep praying for guidance on how to move. If he doesn't give you the release and you stay in a relationship, or if you just decide I want to stay in a relationship, get guidance on how to move. My thing is, we just move a lot of the times, and then things get chaotic and crazy and we don't understand why. Well, it's because we're not, seeking him, and we're not reacting the right way. So, and I just can't stand to see a woman so angry and just acting out and making herself look foolish, and he go over and choose her because you're acting that way. But you really want your marriage, but you're acting a fool, and you going all off, and he feels like, I'd rather be with her because you look at you. So just carry yourself as a woman at all times. Just always conduct yourself as a woman, and pray for guidance, because in the end, he's going to find out that you was that one anyway, and he's going to be trying to come back, and it's going to be up to you if you want to take him back or not. So you have to conduct yourself as a woman, and you have to get that release. So in this little video that I'm doing right now, I'm just saying, get the release. It's gonna save you so much heartache, so much trouble. If you don't get the release, accept it, because if and a lot of us, we went ahead and moved forward without the release, and just moved on and did our thing. And then we wonder why we have so much chaotic stuff going on. Well, just ask for forgiveness, forgive yourself, and move forward with your life, because it's too late now if you done already left. But a lot of times we move without asking for guidance, and it makes things harder. So I just say, make sure you get that guidance. Make sure that you conduct yourself as a woman. You don't have to be out here fighting and going off and getting with Tom, Dick, and Harry because he's with, all them. You don't have to do that. You can still remain the woman because you look better. That's what makes you the better, bigger person. That's what makes you that 80. Might even be that 100, because sometimes they go over and get them a hosey and be trying to come back. No, well, for me, it's no. I don't know. Some of you might be like, yeah, I'm gonna take him back because it's my boo. But me, no. Okay, you was my boo when you was 100. Okay, so when you decided to step out, no. And then you want to lie too? Oh, no. So I say, just carry yourself as a woman, and in the end, you'll get better results. You'll get better results. You'll be happier, and it's gonna just save you a whole bunch of heartache and time. So yeah, and being that wife during that hard time, it's gonna be difficult. So you're gonna need to call on your friends. You're gonna need to read. You're gonna need to study. You're gonna need to get you some activities, some hobbies, go to church, whatever it is you're gonna need to do to help you stay sane, to help you stay, positive, because that's not easy. So, yeah, but that's my little get up for today. Just, stay positive. Remain a woman. and call on Jesus, because he's the only one gonna help you through that. Divorce is not easy. So, yeah, and you're gonna go through all of those emotions. So just be ready. And I'm sorry that, you know, you're having to go through divorce, or even if you're leaving a long-term relationship, I'm sorry you have to go through that. But call on that guidance. Get that guidance. It's real. So, all right. Well, I hope that my little advice, I hope it helps, and it's from this, what I went through. It's what I tell people today, and it helps them. The women that call, you know, I have a few that call me, and when it helps them to get through their what they're going through. So prayerfully, this will help you, and it'll get you through. If you know, if you want more of it, hit me up. Leave a comment. All right. Thank you. Hit that like or subscribe.